All right, good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Tesler. Hope everybody's having a good day. For our homework for this week for A Push, we're going to be doing some guided reading questions based on Chapter 8 of the American Pageant. Now, Chapter 8 of the American Pageant roughly corresponds to Chapter 4, Chapter 5 of the AMSCO A Push review book. This is just kind of a little bit of a review of some of the events of the Revolutionary War, just to make sure that we have a pretty in-depth knowledge of those events and to give us a little deeper understanding than go beyond what is in the review book. So I want to take a few minutes to go through with you what we're looking for when you answer a guided reading question or GRQ. Now, don't be scared off by the fancy acronym. A guided reading question or GRQ is very similar to something you've experienced with a traditional textbook, those back of the chapter questions. We're just going to get a little bit more in-depth, and we're going to try to give a little bit more detailed answer than we're used to giving in years past. A good guided reading question response should be anywhere from, I'd say, 3 to 5 sentences, a brief paragraph. And again, the chapter that we're looking at is Chapter 8 of the American Pageant, America Secedes from the Empire. All the resources that you need for this particular assignment are available on our class blog, which is teslersapush.blogspot.com. All right, and there's a link to the chapter. All right, you just click on the link and you'll see it on the blog, and this is the chapter here you'll read through. Now again, read the chapter first, read the sections first, and then try to answer the questions. Now quickly, let's go take a look at the GRQs, or the guided reading questions that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, as you can see here, there's subheadings within the chapter. So the questions correspond to the subheadings. So in this first chapter here, or this first subheading we have, the question is asking us, why was George Washington chosen as general of the American Army? Well, we would read through there and try to come up with a response that satisfies the question. So quickly, we can read through. We see here in this first section, and if you open this up with if you just download this to your computer, you can begin the process of highlighting. If you have a Mac, you can open this up in Preview. Okay, and I'll just kind of show this to you real quick. And the neat thing about Preview is that you can highlight certain sections. So I'm just going to kind of go through this here using my Mac and using my highlighter. Okay, if you go to Tools, you can highlight. So let's look at this first read here. And I've kind of gone through this already. So as far as Washington had never risen above the, too much highlighting there, okay, had never risen above the rank of a colonel in the militia, okay, so falling short of this true military genius, Washington actually lose more pitched battles than he won, okay, so some of the other qualities here we see about George Washington: he was gifted with outstanding powers of leadership and immense strength of character. Okay, radiated patience, courage, justice, self-discipline, and a sense of justice. Okay, he's kind of like the guy that we're going to rally around. All right, people trusted him. They sensed that when he put himself at the head of a cause, he was prepared, if necessary, to go down with the ship. Okay, he insisted on serving without pay. These are all things that are going to get folks really psyched up. More or less, they're psyched up about serving under George Washington. His selection, in truth, was largely political, as we go through here. And we see here, basically what we can kind of come up with is that George Washington is a real good leader, may not be the best field general, but people will rally around him, and people will trust him, and they will go with him. Okay? So we see here people instinctively trusted him. So there we've highlighted some sections. It's kind of helped us out. Now we can frame out our answer. Now, I've kind of gone ahead and I've done this one for you. As you can see here, Washington had never been promoted higher than a colonel, but he looked the part and would instill confidence and boost morale. Washington was of the highest character, patient, courageous, self-disciplined, fair, and religious. Okay, so these were good qualities of a leader, and these were the reasons why the Continental Congress had chosen George Washington as a leader. The nose up here, you should have a working knowledge of what the Second Continental Congress was, what George Washington represented, or who he was. Okay? Now, if we look down here, Bunker Hill and Hessian hirelings, we'd read that section, same thing. And we would highlight key points and ideas. And then we would do our best to come up with a good, solid, guided reading response. Remember, guided reading responses, anywhere from, say, 2 or 3 to 4 or 5 sentences. We're going beyond, a single sentence response for a back of the book question. We really want to get in there, read it, and then answer the question. Hope you found this little tutorial helpful. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to email me at michael.tesler@wjps.org. This is Mr. Tesler, over and out.